Alright, so here we are. The only thing I've changed here is I've added a modifier. So, wait a minute, hold on. Let me get back to my Maya. Okay. So if you want to add a modifier, you just go in here, add modifier. I hit multi-resolution, I hit apply. In object mode, I went subdivide, and then I went apply. And I only had one level. So my outcome should look like this. So if you don't know how I got to this part, I just added a modifier called multi-res. I hit subdivide once in object mode, and then I hit apply. Reason that you don't see that is because my Blender crashed, and that's the part I missed. So now, what we're going to do is add two different textures to these. Okay, texture 1. Okay, just like last unit, we studied a term. This term right here, there's no kind of spider web going on. We're going to call these relaxed. Okay, so we're going to go in here and go image, new image, and we're going to make relaxed UVs. And we're going to call this 2048 by 2048. And just so I can tell the difference between the two, I'm going to make this one light gray and hit OK. Okay, there we go. So that one's light gray. Now, next, over here, again, go into edit mode, hit A. If that one is relaxed, what is this one? This one is called stretched. Okay, new image, stretched UVs. And there is in some cases that you can use stretched UVs. Organic is one of them. You can use it on inorganic only if you start painting on it. If you use Photoshop or something like that, it's not going to look quite that good because the area that is stretched is going to have a different resolution in that area than anywhere else. So you have to kind of know when to use it and why to use it. And this is a perfect illustration of it. So I hate that UVs because I didn't hit enter and I got talking. Okay, hit OK. Alright, now the fun stuff. We get into a new mode. So this one's my stretched UVs, and our new mode is called texture paint. Okay, and I'll cover just a couple basic things, but I don't want to ruin the real fun stuff. So let's just cover things like, okay, first off, if I give it a blue color, and I use my Wacom drawing tablet, if I decide to use my Wacom drawing tablet, these little buttons right here indicate pressure. So the harder I press, the more saturated it is. The lighter I press, less saturated. Okay, that's one thing you could do. Let's turn these off just for a second so I can just show the person that does not have $199 to spend on a Wacom drawing tablet. So here is strength. Strength, if this is blue, it's purely saturated blue or purely opaque blue. Okay. If I put the strength down, it is transparent blue. And the more I go over it, the more and more opaque it becomes. Okay. Jitter. Jitter works like this. This is more like my splatter brush. So it's splattering all over the place. Let me change the color so you can see this. You can see how it's splattering all over the place. Okay, radius works like this. Yep, makes it bigger. So no brainer there. Bracket keys on the keyboard make it bigger and smaller. Then we got our mix here. We have also darken. Darken works like this. If I have purple, you can see it doesn't really do much. That works better. It's just darkening it. It's not really changing the color of it. It's just darkening the color of it. The next pass, however, is going to start darkening it corresponding to that color. I would play around with these. Really, the only way to learn them is kind of go in there and touch base on them. Like you can see, lighten will keep lightening until it's purely saturated. But what's the difference between lighten and mix? You know, you could do the same thing with mix and then have the strength up. So most of the time I'm using mix or add, and most of the time I'm not changing that too much. Okay, as you can see here, if I paint on an angle, it's got this big old streak here. So the minute I hit the corner, it looks good here, but as soon as I turn around, this is projecting off. So there is a feature in here under here, project paint. I turn this feature off. It's really annoying. I don't really recommend having it on at first until you realize what it does. So now whenever I touch the corner of something like this, it looks good here, and when I rotate it, it looks good here also. So, which leads me to texture, our last thing that we're going to experiment with. So in texture, I can go over here and I can make a new texture. We'll call this clouds. And I'll put the type 2 clouds, and I'll start painting with clouds. Now notice the real-time preview is not active. Okay, and you can see when I do that, look what happens. It looks good there and there. But watch what happens when I put on project. Okay. Oh, look at that, how smooth that looks. Amazing, right? Oh, that's so cool. The minute I turn the corner, bleh. So it might look cool, but trust me when I say this, it doesn't look cool when you turn around. So if you're very careful, you can use this. Like if you don't go near the outside edge, it's fine. But the minute you touch the outside edge, it starts blurring. So that's where I turn that off. And bleed bleeds out a little bit when it comes down to a texture. We'll touch base on that. But for right now, play around with just coloring this. And then in the next video, we're going to learn about making our own texture library using like metal and stuff like that. So that's in the next video.